Howdy y'all, it's Reese, aka Bearman Prime, on this June 9th. Welcome back to my Read the Bible in a Year series. Thank you again for joining me. God bless you all. Card at the top right hand corner for the rest of the playlist, as always. And please hit that like button, that subscribe button, that notification bell. Really do appreciate it. Alright, so we're beginning to build up to the birth of Jesus as he comes down to earth in the form of a man. We've seen the birth of John the Baptist, the one who will be the voice in the wilderness, calling out and making way for the Lord, making the path for the Lord for the nation of Israel. So now we're going to jump back over to the book of Matthew today. We're going to start in Matthew, go to chapter 1 today, beginning in verse 1. This is the family history of Jesus, the Messiah. He came from the family of David, who was from the family of Abraham. Abraham was the father of Isaac. Isaac was the father of Jacob. Jacob was the father of Judah and his brothers. Judah was the father of Perez and Zerah. Their mother was Tamar. Perez was the father of Hezron. Hezron was the father of Ram. Ram was the father of Amminadab. Amminadab was the father of Nahshon. Nahshon was the father of Salmon. Salmon was the father of Boaz. His mother was Rahab. Boaz was the father of Obed. His mother was Ruth. Obed was the father of Jesse. Jesse was the father of King David. David was the father of Solomon. His mother had been Uriah's wife. Solomon was the father of Rehoboam. Rehoboam was the father of Abijah. Abijah was the father of Asa. Asa was the father of Jehoshaphat. Jehoshaphat was the father of Jehoram. Jehoram was the father of Uzziah. Uzziah was the father of Jotham. Jotham was the father of Ahaz. Ahaz was the father of Hezekiah. Hezekiah was the father of Manasseh. Manasseh was the father of Ammon. Ammon was the father of Josiah. Josiah was the grandfather of Jehoiachin and his brothers, who lived during the time that the people were taken away to Babylon. After they were taken to Babylon, Jehoiachin was the father of Shealtiel. Shealtiel was the grandfather of Zerubbabel. Zerubbabel was the father of Abuid. Abuid was the father of Eliakim. Eliakim was the father of Azor. Azor was the father of Zadok. Zadok was the father of Akim. Akim was the father of Eluid. Eluid was the father of Eleazar. Eleazar was the father of Mathan. Mathan was the father of Jacob. Jacob was the father of Joseph. Joseph was the husband of Mary, and Mary was the mother of Jesus, who is called the Messiah. So there were 14 generations from Abraham to David. There were also 14 generations from David until the people were taken away to Babylon, and there were 14 more from the time the people were taken to Babylon until the Messiah was born. Verse 18. This is how the birth of Jesus the Messiah happened. His mother Mary was engaged to marry Joseph, but before they married, he learned that she was expecting a baby. She was pregnant by the power of the Holy Spirit. Mary's husband, Joseph, was a good man. He did not want to cause her public disgrace, so he planned to divorce her secretly. But after Joseph thought about this, an angel from the Lord came to him in a dream. The angel said, "Joseph, son of David, don't be afraid to accept Mary to be your wife. The baby inside her is from the Holy Spirit. She will give birth to a son. You will name him Jesus. Give him that name because he will save his people from their sins." All this happened to make clear the full meaning of what the Lord said through the prophet. The virgin will be pregnant and will give birth to a son. They will name him Emmanuel. Emmanuel means God with us. When Joseph woke up, he did what the Lord's angel told him to do. He married Mary, but Joseph did not have sexual relations with her until her son was born, and he named him Jesus. All right, so a lot of that was just a bunch of, so-and-so begat so-and-so, so-and-so is the father of, so-and-so, and on and on and on, a lot of that. So why did Matthew go through all that? Why did Matthew go through the entire genealogy of Jesus Christ? Well, For starters, he was proving out that Jesus has a legitimate blood claim to the throne of David. Okay, because that's what was foretold, is that the king would come. It would be the king would be established forever through the line of David, through the line of Judah, and that the coming Messiah would be of that line as well, and would establish the throne of David forever and ever. So here we see the entire genealogy from Jesus all the way back to Abraham, the progenitor of the Jewish race, the Jewish people. We go just down through the line. So he comes from Judah, the tribe of Judah, as we knew. Some of his ancestors include Boaz. If you remember from the book of Ruth, Boaz and Ruth, so Obed, their son, they were his descendants as well. And then also we see he's directly descendant to King David, Solomon, and so on, all the way down through to Joseph. Now, it's interesting because the genealogy given here is through his father, his earthly father, Joseph. Now, even though they are not technically related by blood, it's still important because, these claims to thrones are often given through the father's line, through the father's bloodline. Even though Jesus was not related by blood to Joseph, Joseph was still his earthly father, the one who raised him. You call him his stepfather in a way, but it's not quite accurate. Anyway, so by establishing that Joseph was indeed a descendant of David, and that Jesus is his legitimate son, that Jesus does have a claim to David's throne. I believe Mary is also a far descendant of David as well. So there is also that blood claim there too, but it's not as important as the father's side. That's the one that's more important there. And of course, we also saw, as I said before, that the line of Judah, the tribe of Judah, would be the one to establish the kingship of Israel. And then after that, we see how Matthew describes the birth of Jesus very succinctly. Just kind of sums it up that Mary was pregnant before she even got married to Joseph. Joseph was going to try to divorce her quietly so as not to cause problems for her, but also doing what he thought was right according to the law. But then the Lord's angel comes and tells him, no, you will marry Mary. You will have the son. You will name him Jesus. He's also to be called Emmanuel, God with us. And that is what happened there. So Matthew is establishing Jesus's earthly claim to the throne of David, while also establishing that he is the Son of God, conceived by the Holy Spirit. So he's the Son of God and the Son of Man in one. All right. Well, that's all for today. We're going to pick it up there tomorrow. We're going to revisit the birth of Jesus again in the book of Luke tomorrow. Thank you again for joining me. I sure do appreciate it. I'll see y'all tomorrow.